Hello, everyone. This is JD Calderon, and this is Indie Comics Explained. And again, today I brought another fantastic guest. We're running a little late, but that's okay. We're all here, and that's what matters. Please hit like, hit subscribe, and hit the notifications. And please check out the Indiegogo that I'm currently running for the Oswald Chronicles. And without further ado, here's our esteemed guest, Dave Garcia from Pentacon. How you doing, Dave?
Hey, JD.
So,
glad to be here.
Thank you. I'm happy you're here. So I mean, all right. So let's get into it, man. Like, I know you've been working on Pentacon for a while. You know, I started a long time ago. I've been self-publishing since 91, 92, so I've been around for a minute. Yep. So now Pentacon, I mean, like, when did you first start on it, and like, why bring it back now?
This wasn't my idea.
Gotcha.
Well, I think the first Pentacon I did was actually a oil painting for my wife. From there it turned into a comic book character. The reason we're bringing it back is because we just signed a development deal for a cartoon show for Pentacon.
Nice.
And it is not, like you, I think our last issue was in 91, so we've been around, a long time.
Yeah.
Then I started working on other stuff, Kick, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and a bunch of things like that. And I had put Pentacon completely out of my mind. Like I said, I've been working on this supernatural Western for the last few years.
Right.
So Mickey Clausen, who I met when he had a comic shop in San Diego many years ago, he just took it upon himself to start. Basically, he just redid the whole first issue in color. And the book had only been out in black and white back in late 80s, early 90s.
Right.
So he just, for some reason, he just decided to do that. And he started sending me these gorgeous pages, and I'm like, oh my God, because I found out in the Army that I'm red-green colorblind. So I try to stay away from coloring anymore. I used to try it, but it was such a pain in the, in the eyes that I just gave it up. So I just do black and white stuff. But when I saw Mickey's gorgeous colors, and I just like, oh my goodness. And then that pretty much led to the cartoon company seeing the stuff and going, hey, this, I remember Pentacon, so it's all Mickey Clausen's fault. It's the only reason they're doing it is because Mickey just took it upon himself to start colorizing the thing, and it's just like, oh my goodness, it's crazy, because like I said, I don't color.
Gotcha. No, that's really cool though. But so I mean, like, listen, I remember this title from way back when, when books like The Realm was coming out. I don't know, The Adventurers, Elf Lord, Warlock 5. I don't know if you remember any of those titles, but they probably came out around the same time.
Well, I was in a fanzine with Peter Laird before he was doing the 30s. He was, he's a big dinosaur fan. So he was doing some kind of dinosaur strip back then. And I was doing a weird version of Pentacon, which I was writing myself, and it was mostly just, fight scene, explosion fight scene.
Gotcha.
My wife is responsible for all the storytelling in the real Pentacon. She took that character and just, because she's a big reader, she's really into Asian mythology, so she just imbued my goofy character with this whole backstory and all these other characters he came up with. So basically, if it hadn't been for my wife, I would have just been doing some goofy, crazy fight scene after fight scene. because I'm not a great writer. I can do comics. I can plot stuff out, but when it comes to writing, I'm not.
It's not your thing. No, I got you. That's
So
cool.
basically, that's how I got here because of my wife and Mickey. And because my wife hadn't written anything in years. She was a teacher. She taught handicapped kids and stuff, and now she's retired. So I guess she's got the writing bug back. So she wrote a new story for the book.
Nice.
It's the first one is reprinting the first issue in color, but we also are putting in a 9-page new story and introducing new characters to the Pentacon universe.
Cool.
Something that Monica and Mickey created, a couple of characters that they came up with. So
that's cool. And and it's your illustrations on that as well.
Yeah, I'm still the penciler. I'm still the penciler.
Gotcha.
Back in the day, I was pencil inking, lettering, and now I'm pretty much ink a little bit. But Mickey has been inking most of this new story because of how well he's done this whole book. Just some of these pages were so. He wasn't taking them from originals. He was taking them from the old books and scanning them, and then just reproducing them basically from there. So yeah, he's really good. So I've been penciling stuff, and he's been inking it for this new stuff.
Now, is he inking digitally, or is he actually inking on a board?
He inks on board. Yeah. He what he does is I just send him the files of my pencils, and he prints them out on board with some kind of like blue line. He's got a really great setup. He does all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah. No, that's really cool.
He does all the inks is old school. Just the lettering and the colorizing is computer generated.
Gotcha. Now, back in the day, you did everything. You were lettering. You were
hand lettering. Before computer, because you remember before computers.
yeah, I do.
You had that little lettering tool, and you make all the lines in pencil. Then you pencil all the writing in, and then you ink it all in, and then just everything was done on the same board. Back in the day. Now people just I remember when working on the Tick, when I started, they were pasting word balloons on the pages, and I'd get the original art back, and these are great. I can read this, and then I'd start getting back the original pages with nothing. They were just all the word balloons, all coloring was done on the computer. So you get the original pages back, and they were just like, wow, that's not quite as cool, because you're used to seeing those word balloons up on the pages.
Yeah,
now
you
don't get that. So.
Yeah, now it's just all blank. Yeah, back in the day, we were doing paste ups. So yeah, that's cool. Now, your wife and yourself. Now, the way the two of you work, is she writing like? Are you guys doing like a Marvel style type script where she's maybe giving you a scene or two? Or is she writing like a full on like DC style, like she's giving you scene 1, panel 1, 3/4 worm's eye. So she doing that sort of thing.
In some ways, we do it both ways because sometimes I'll get like, especially when we were doing originally, I would get reams of legal pad pages where she'd been just writing and writing. Because she would, she was, like I said, she just created this whole universe, man. So I had to go through there and try and, show, well, we'll save this for later, stuff like that. But this most recent story, we were just kind of brainstorming, like Marvel style. We were talking back and forth, and we had a story, and I did a few pages and brought him in, and she said, yeah. And then she started finalizing all the captions and the she's even doing most of the lettering now. So, like I said, I'm just penciling stuff. It's pretty cool.
So you get to take a little easy.
I've been, with the tick and different things. I've been a penciler alone, but with Pentacon, like I said, I just did everything. And it's kind of weird having this much help now. It's like, wow, cool.
Gotcha. Now, so you're recoloring that original series, right? The 6 issues, right? So now are you going to be doing it?
Yeah, originally we only came out with 5 issues of Pentacon.
Oh, okay.
It was 1 through 4, and then genius me, I decided, because we were pretty much knew that Monica was going to go back to his teaching, and I was getting a lot of freelance stuff. So we said, okay, we'll do this final story, wrap up, most of this stuff, except for a few things, and we'll put it out in an extra large book and call it Pentacon Special Number 1. But evidently, people never saw that book. So a lot of people are always bringing up 1 through 4 for me to sign at conventions and stuff, but I very rarely see. And I think it was probably because I decided to call it Pentacon Special Number 1, and I should have just, kept the numbering.
But it was also dealers.
Yeah.
Orders dropped by 2/3.
Yeah, my wife is reminding me how the orders had also dropped by then. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I mean, you were there. Well, when was your first published date for Pentacon number 1?
You remember that?
It was probably like April '87, but prior to that, we've been published by Warp Graphics, which is Wendy Penny and Richard Penny.
Oh, okay.
And that was they signed us in '84, and we started in '85. But I had we have a 2-year-old son at that time, and Dave was working full time for a paper, so 6 days a week, and so we told him we couldn't do a full book, and they said, "Would you be a backup?" And we said, "Sure." And they had Thunder Bunny back then, and we thought we were going to be in that, but instead we wound up in Colleen Duran's or Distant Soil, more aimed at, I think, teen and romance kind of science fiction readers.
Right.
They weren't, the fans weren't happy with it.
Yeah, I don't think it quite fit with their following anyway. So then we decided, after a few issues of that, we decided to self-publish.
Yeah.
And
they went back to it.
And this is when, like I said, I'd known Peter Laird, and then Peter and Kevin were really telling us, self-publish, that's the way to go, because you don't have to worry about editors and all that stuff. Even with Warp, we were getting kind of weird, requests from the editor that we thought were just, I don't know, superfluous, whatever.
But
yeah, so Kevin and Peter really encouraged us to go out on our own, so we did, and it was a lot of fun while it lasted.
Now, because I mean, you guys were there for the boom. Then you were there for when indie comics. You guys were hitting 20, 30, 40,000.
Right at the how many did we print of the?
Number 1 was 15,000, and then we did a reprint of number 1 that was 10,000.
Wow.
Number 2 was 15,000. We were never up there with some of the
like Turtles numbers.
Yeah, or we got good reviews and everything like that, but sales immediately, because of the boom in anthropomorphic titles.
Yeah, we were in for the booming, but we also got the bust.
Yeah, the bust. Yeah.
Hey, but we got a toy out of it.
Yeah, nice. Because I mean, indie guys today would kill for those numbers.
Yeah, I would kill for those numbers out of the West.
Right. So you know exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, those numbers. I mean, yeah. I mean, today, if you sell, 1,000 copies, you're dancing a jig. You're just like, yeah, Yeah. So I mean, Yeah, but that also, you know, back then we were dealing with what, 13 different distributors, right?
Yeah, we was Friendly Frank and
Yeah, there was a lot more stuff like that going on, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had, you know, a bunch of different distributors. It just, you know, it just wasn't just Diamond, you know.
Yeah.
Although the DC is trying to break that stranglehold.
Yeah.
So, you know, so there is some hope.
Yeah, well, let's keep our fingers crossed. Yeah, yeah. My wife, Monica Sharp, just to get that out there. Monica Sharp, she was the one that dealt with all the distributors and stuff. You know, like
Gotcha.
I was just drawn away. Yeah.
Listen, my wife does my because I work with my wife too. She's the artist on Tall Tales, in the book I write, and you know, she's the one that set this up for me. You know, like she sets up the computer stuff. She does the website. You know, she does all that stuff. You know, I mean, so I know exactly how you feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I know exactly how you feel. You know, so it's like, listen. We're smart guys, but we have smarter women with us. Right?
You got that right, man. We got a bench over
here. You know, but that's sometimes how it has to roll. You know, we just have to, you know, get the ladies out there. So, so currently, your partner, he's coloring, or he's already colored that first issue.
Oh yeah. The coloring's all done. He's putting the final touches on the new 9-page story.
Cool.
Oh yeah, then because we did a lot of backup Pentacon stories for other publishers, Blackthorn and we were in a couple of the Usagi Yojimbo books, and so we're including one of our backup stories in this book also, which is a kind of a it's a story of when Pentacon was young and he first becomes a warrior. So that's another 8 pages. And Mickey's already colored that. It looks, oh man, that one looks really nice. So that's what the first issue of the color book that we're kickstarting is going to be. It's going to be the first issue of Pentacon, only in full glorious color. Another backup story, one of my favorite backup stories that we did, and then a new 9-page story of some new characters who are going to be added to the mix.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Now,
it should be a pretty cool package, especially if it should, especially for people who are familiar with the book. But hopefully, with the cartoon show, there'll be a lot of new fans out there looking for this kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean it's going to be incredible because I mean now now did you sign with like Netflix or Amazon, one of these companies? Are you even able to talk about it?
It's just this is a production company called Galestone. Right now they've got Action Mice. It's going to be on. Which one is that?
I don't find it's Amazon.
Amazon? Is it on Amazon?
I don't.
You know, it's I don't know these. I don't stream at all. But
we're in the desert,
and there's so many streaming ones I can't remember, but they've got one cartoon show that's in production now, and it's going to be on one of those streaming services. But as far as we're going to be Pentacon's going to guest star on that show.
Right. That's cool.
So we'll see how that works. Yeah, he's that's all I know. I don't know.
So I mean,
like I said, this is all because of Mickey Clausen. He colors for so many people. He does color work for so many people that he knew this production company. He's the one that was talking, and so wow, he's something else.
We call him the hardest working man in comics.
Well, he also teaches. He does computer art in high school. He teaches high school.
Oh, that's cool.
Then I don't know when he sleeps because he's always contacting me in the middle of the night, telling me what he's just done. And he does a lot of coloring work for other production companies and stuff, and a lot of also comics. Not that I can think of any right now, but
IDW.
He inked and colored the cover of issue number 3 of Shadow of the West.
Oh, Shadow of the West. There you go. Nice. All right.
Yeah, he's really talented.
We're gonna get to Shadow in a minute. Now, you were telling me that he was just scanning the pages right out of the comic books and then like retouching them.
Yeah. Like I said, he was a fan of Pentacon, evidently. So he pulled out all his old books and just he's I don't know how many he's done, but he's got the whole first issue done. And he showed me stuff from other issues also. So he goes so far as to some pages he just re-inks them.
Wow.
He takes my page because I on some of those pages I laid a lot of remember Zipatone?
Yeah.
Back in the day. Oh man, I used to go nuts on some of those pages, laying all this zip and that erasable zip, and there was just so many toys to play with, and some of those pages it just zipped up beyond repair. So he just I'll just re-ink them, so he's like re-inked whole big sections of the book, and it's just I don't know where he gets the time to do that.
Well, I was wondering, I mean, do you have any of the original boards or are those all gone?
Yeah, we were looking at them
after he started
because we didn't even know he was doing this. He just started sending this stuff out of the blue, and I go, why is Mickey doing this? Because I know how busy he is. He's because I've known Mickey since he had a comic shop in San Diego, years and years ago. And I was just like, wow, this is nuts, and I put those boards away, probably right after we quit doing Pentacon, and never, I quit even trying to sell original art because I sell a few at conventions and stuff, but one time I sold some through the mail, and UPS totally mangled it.
Yeah, that sucks.
And it was such a pain, even we'd insured it and everything. It was such a pain that I just I'm never going to do that again. So I practically have all my old Pentacon boards, back, put away. And if I'd been thinking, I would have said, "Oh, well, Mickey, just take these."
Right. So did you zip the actual pages, like your actual boards?
A lot of them I did, and then I did some on the plastic overlay.
Right. Yeah.
You just lay a plastic and then zip on that.
Yeah, because that's how some of my guys did it.
Yeah. I wish I'd thought of that sooner. It wasn't through. I was probably halfway through the book when I started doing that. Because this was stuff I was doing in my other job, was putting overlays and cutting color, and and I thought, what? Why didn't I do that right from the start? So that I have these. But you start doing Zipatone, and it's part of the art process, and you get all into it. And like I said, we had the Zipatone where you could lay it down and erase little parts of it, or you start scraping on it with a knife, and you start all getting into it. And it was it was a whole different thing back then. I'm thinking how in just a couple of years, nobody would be doing that. Nobody would be doing Zipatone, except maybe some of the manga artists still do it, or manga artists still do it. I don't know.
Well, even then, now most of them are just using something called Manga Studio Paint, and they can basically replicate all that stuff in there. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I used to see those really cool shoots of Zipatone that would be like, that'd actually be like artwork somehow, where you just lay in a big old cloud or something. There was so many weird Zipatones back then that was just like, wow. It was kind of fun to mess with it, but
Yeah.
It was a phase I went through.
Uh-huh. Now you said you stopped publishing at issue 4. You did your one shot, and you said your sales got cut in half, right? At that point.
Yeah.
Now, at that point,
JD, it
yes.
was because we were at the tail end of the boom where the bust started, where all the speculation around anthropomorphic titles had, made dealers or comic shops order so many copies that were unsellable after the first. That we had fans write us and say, this was like after issue 3. Why did you guys stop publishing? I was really enjoying it. My comic shop guy told me you guys went bankrupt and went out of the, and we were like, no, he's lying. We're still publishing, but the orders dropped by the 4th issue. It was like 3,800. So that's when David, when he did the 5th one, he decided, if it's a number 1, maybe they'll order more of it. And they did, but not that much. Not like the.
It was a lost cause.
The first number 1 did, but it was a 48-page issue. But the reason we stopped publishing was because our child was diagnosed with autism and dyslexia and all these other problems. And I said, okay, I can either spend my time writing or I can spend my time with my child. And so David wanted to continue Pentacon at that point, but I said, I can't, I need to focus on my child.
Yep. Got to do it.
He's a successful archaeologist now, so I did the right thing.
There you go. Wait, so what type of archaeologist? He's what?
He does. He works for a company that goes in before there's any construction done in a new area, and he survey it, looking for artifacts, and a lot of it's in the desert, so they're looking for burial grounds and relics, and He has to protect the native endangered species. He works a lot of solar farms and wind farms. Yeah, whenever there's a new when the land has not been built on at all, and there's going to be a big construction job, these guys go in, before and do all that surveying and then they stay on hand to make sure that everything. Yeah, sometimes he stays through the whole through the whole process. Yeah, he worked on. They had him up at the LA Metro when they were expanding the subway there.
Wow, that's interesting. So
he's a contributing member of society somehow.
Plus, he's a Comic-Con staffer.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm out of New York. Yeah, I'm out of New York City.
What's that?
I said, I'm out of New York City, so we just pave everything over. We don't even think about it twice.
Yeah, I don't think there's many relics left in New York.
So we're just like, just pave it over.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about Shadow of the West. So I mean, you told me you were working on that for a few years. What got you working on that?
Well, this is something. Well, because I'm, of an age where I grew up watching Westerns, a lot of old, black and white, Gabby Hayes and stuff like that. But at the same time, I was always watching monster movies, because in the Saturday afternoons, it's either Westerns or monsters back when I was growing up. Right. So my brain started working, well, why does the Lone Ranger use silver bullets on Butch Cavendish when he's just a regular old bad guy, and we all know what silver bullets are for. So that was the impetus of my whole story. Why waste silver bullets on regular old bad guys? We know what silver bullets are for. And then also as a youngster, I saw this movie. It was a Western, supernatural Western, and it was the guy from Rawhide, not Clint Eastwood, the other dude. Anyway, he played this Old West preacher, and he has a run-in with a vampire gunslinger, which
Okay.
I do remember his name. He was played by Michael Pate, who he played Indians and stuff. He was an Australian actor. But anyway, in this movie, black and white, low budget western, the preacher carves a crucifix on a silver bullet, and that's how he kills the vampire. So I said, well, shoot, if this dude, all I do is supply this guy with silver bullets, and he can take out any kind of basically any kind of monster he wants, from vampire to werewolf. So I have this Old West monster hunter, who is teamed up with not a Native American, but a Native American myth, Old Man Coyote the trickster, who's a shapeshifter. So I've got the cowboy, the sidekick, like in the original Ranger setup, but I've tweaked them out, so they can hunt monsters. So that's big. And I don't know. You probably remember the Lone Ranger, right?
Yes, of course.
He would dress up in disguises to infiltrate the bad guys' gang, and then do the. So on this one, instead of the Ranger dressing up, I have a shapeshifter who can just shapeshift into any bad guy he wants to or whatever, and infiltrate the bad guys that way. Because I always thought it was really crazy how, Lone Ranger and Tonto ran around all over with nothing but saddlebags. But when the Ranger had to come up with a costume or a disguise, he'd just pull out a whole suit and everything out of the magic saddlebag. So so basically, there's going to be magic saddlebags and
right.
crazy stuff like that. It's a mix of because my mom was also a Tejana, so she was always telling me goofy old ghost stories. So I'm throwing in stuff like that, and then I was a big fan of oh gosh, what was his name? Ishmael Reed, a writer who did he did a book called Yellowback Radio Broke Down, and he had a character in there called the the Loop Garou Kid.
Okay.
So I've always been reading all these crazy things that just the West obviously was full of all kinds of strange things, just from tall tales and all the ghost stories you hear. So I figured this is perfect. I'll just put all that stuff in there. Hoodoo. I got like I said, I got the Confederate werewolves. I've got some Confederate zombies in there. It's just It's my zombie character is a takeoff on Roy Rogers, and his name is Roy Ravenous. He's Roy Ravenous, king of the cowboy zombies. Yeah, and he owns it. So, it's totally tongue in cheek. This is that's the kind of stuff I write. I can't build these huge fantasy worlds like my wife does, but I do goofy stuff. So basically, that's what Shadow is. All that kind of crap that I enjoyed as a kid, and I'm just throwing it together, mashing it, and having a good time with it.
No, that's fantastic. Like, how many issues deep are you into the series?
I've got the first 6-issue miniseries. I've got because I had actually this was signed with a little company called Nerd Antics, and I was able to get all the 6 issues out before they went out of business. So
Gotcha.
yeah, so I've got and then with Comics Today, I can get more printed up even if there's no company left, because I know the printer now. So. And in fact, I probably do need to print up some, more number ones because they're always going at convention. The number one always goes at conventions and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on with Shadow West. Oh, one more just off the wall thing because I was trying to just take the whole Lone Ranger mythos and turn it on its ear. So I made the hero a person of color, a black guy.
Okay.
And I was into I was working on the 3rd issue when I was introduced to Bass Reeves, the
Oh, yeah.
Black Marshal, who in some people say they took some of his myth and used it in the Lone Ranger. So it's like this big circle just going around,
Right.
being, just, how when you start doing stuff, you just.
Yeah, you start to see all the other stuff that other people have done.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
those characters.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is so
Harriet
cool.
Tubman.
What's that?
Harriet Tubman.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Our son.
Our son wrote a Harriet Tubman backup story for one of the next books, and
Nice.
I've got that all done and ready to go. So
That's cool.
it's a family thing. Even though he's doing his own work, he has time to write a story for Dad. So.
Listen, don't ever forget where you come from.
What's that?
That wasn't me.
Oh,
Oh, that sounded like a reminder on your end, because it said it's 9 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm getting reminded by my cat also. Good kitty, go away.
Oh, the cat's like, hey, feed me. You're one of those cats.
As soon as you sit down to do something, the cat always has to show up.
Oh yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah. That's definitely how it works.
Yeah.
So I mean,
how many days are left in the Kickstarter? You said?
Dan's on the.
Yeah, that's one of the questions.
I'd sure like to get some more books sold, because the seems like the original art is going like hotcakes, but we're lagging in the book sales. We'd like to pump that up. So,
so I mean, you got what, another 7 days?
That's not our goal, so that's but so. I'm sure we'll print up extra books for conventions and whatnot. So
So you're running on 7 days so far. You have 7 days left in the convention. I mean, the campaign.
Kickstarter. Yeah. We started the middle of last month, so we're going for a month. So it's up. We're in about a week now. So.
Gotcha. No, that's cool. Now.
Oh yeah, I'm really happy that we got our goal. We met our goal. So.
Yeah. Now, how do you feel like? I mean, obviously you've done conventions, so how do you feel like the difference? Because obviously none of us can do conventions at the moment, but like the big difference between something like Kickstarter and a convention.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know. I would have loved to have done San Diego this summer, for sure. Because I'm always at Artist Alley in San Diego, and to be able to announce that it was going to be a cartoon show would have been awesome. But that's where it goes.
Gotcha. Now, do you feel that how much you make at a show, right? As opposed to like what you're doing on Kickstarter. Now, do you feel that Kickstarter is a good supplement? Like, is it a good replacement for a show, or would you rather be doing shows? Like, where would you be doing better? Like, do you feel you're doing better at Kickstarter financially, or do you think you'd be doing better financially at shows?
Well, we got Kickstarter worked for us, so that's a plus. At shows, basically, I'm just selling product I already have. So that's hard for me to get a correlation there.
Gotcha.
And like I said, I've not gone to a convention with original art in years. So on Kickstarter, we're selling all kinds of original art. And Mickey's pages, my pages, just all kinds of stuff. So that was pretty cool. So I had, like I said, I just had not sold a lot of original art in years. Basically, I quit selling Pentacon stuff, and I sold all of the turtle stuff, all the best stuff that I did. That's all gone. So I just had not been taking original art to shows, just comics and print.
All right, cool. just to let you know, there's something covering, I think, your mic. You're coming in a little muffled. I don't know if... Yeah, I don't know if you have your hand... Maybe you have your hand over your mic.
Yeah, I'm touching the computer. I'm touching the computer moving around. Okay.
There you go. Yeah, because you're coming a little muffled. I was like, okay.
Yeah, you can cover it. Good, huh?
Yeah. All right, cool. So listen, we've been doing this for a little while. I got a few more questions for you, but I got a few wacky ones for you, all right? But before before we get to that, let everybody know where they can find you, where they can reach you, where they can see your work, and about the Kickstarter.
Oh, so basically, I'm just on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
There's Pentacon Comics on Facebook.
Dave Garcia Art.
Dave Garcia Art on Facebook.
There's
Anthropomorphic comic books on Facebook, and I'm on Facebook, Dave Garcia, so you can get a hold of me. I have been selling the Shadow of the West stuff through Facebook. So if anybody's interested in that, they can contact me for that. So.
Nice.
Called the Chronicles of Pentacon Chapter 1.
Okay, and the Kickstarter is called Chronicles of Pentacon Chapter 1.
Nice.
On
Kickstarter. Cool. Now, are you ever going to do, let's say, a compilation of Shadow of the West?
That would be the logical thing. I just Mickey's already been pushing me to let him color it, you know. So if he did color it, I'd probably put the whole thing in one book.
Gotcha. Yeah.
You know,
that would be awesome.
Cool. Graphic novel type books are way cooler. So.
Yeah, I'm one of those people. I like my books. I like collecting. If I find a series that I really like, I like to have it collected in one volume. Yeah. It's gotcha.
Whenever possible.
Yeah.
But I don't read that many comics anymore. We don't have like a real comic shop locally anymore. One that's open, a couple of days a week, and they don't carry much stuff. So it's just when I find something at a convention or something, that's basically all I read anymore. Or my son will bring home stuff that he's.
Yeah, he's in San Diego, so he's got access.
Yeah, he comes by once in a while with stuff. Hey, Dad, have you seen this? Whoa! So that's my whole. I enjoy doing it myself, and I don't read that much of it anymore. But there are still good things out there.
Oh yeah, there's plenty. There's tons. There's stuff by the tonnage. Yeah, the stuff comes out by the tonnage.
Oh yeah. I couldn't keep up with. Yeah. I don't think I've. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I picked up some new Marvels at the Walmart because they're packing like fairly recent issues, like in 3-packs. So I got a couple of. They're older. They're not like brand new, But it was interesting to see what's going on with Marvel. Right. I don't hardly ever look at that stuff. One of them was written by women, drawn by women, and it was the Invisible Woman and Captain Marvel and one other lady superheroes teaming up together. I can't remember. I can't even remember the name of it. That's why my memory is terrible. But I enjoyed it when I was reading it.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, I barely read anything from Marvel. Mostly everything I read is indie. So I just try to stay away from that stuff. I mean, some of it's good.
I love getting reprints of Marvel, the old stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just but the new stuff, some of it's fine, but it doesn't excite me like the old stuff used to.
Right. Yeah. And I got you. I'm an old Frank Miller, Walter Simonson, John Byrne guy.
Oh man, Walter Simonson, man,
Yep.
that Thor run is still like, that's just yeah.
Right.
So, I of course Jack Kirby my favorite, but there's been so many great things, because I'd kind of go in and out when Jack Kirby left Marvel, I kind of left comics, and then this was also coincided with high school, and then went into the military after high school. So there was all these different times when I was maybe not reading Marvels, but I'd pick up a collection of Pogo or something like that. So I've always been reading comics. It's just that whatever's available, and a lot of times the Marvels weren't available, and so
And I got you.
Underground comics were a big thing for me for a while too. I just loved the undergrounds.
I missed the Fabulous Freak Brothers.
Well, you could go to a head shop and pick up some underground comics and a collection of Pogo, and maybe some foreign stuff. So those were back in the day. Head shops weren't just head shops; they were interesting stores. Yeah.
I got you. All right, so now I got one other question for you, real quick. Okay, now is there anything you wanted to talk about that I didn't ask you about that you maybe wanted to discuss?
Well, not really.
Okay.
You were. What's that? Oh yeah, my wife has said that your book looks pretty cool.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I do a couple of them. I do one called the Oswald Chronicles. That's one I work with an artist. Her name is Jade Gonzalez. She's out of Chile. And then I work with my wife, and we do a book called Tall Tales. And that's the one we've been working on forever.
Oh yeah. I'm sure that's the one she's talking about.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
you.
You said you had a goofy question. I don't recall any questions being that goofy.
Oh no, the goofy question is coming.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's coming. We're not done yet. All right. So the first one is now. So you're an artist. So I'm gonna have to switch the question a little bit. All right. Because usually I ask who would you want to get to illustrate a cover for your book. Although you can answer that question if you want. Like if you had the choice of like any artist, throughout time and space, comic book artist, who would you want to get to draw a cover for you?
Jack Kirby. If I could get anyone, living or dead, I would be Jack Kirby.
Gotcha.
Say, Jack, my wife said Brian Talbot.
Oh, Brian Talbot. Yeah, that's.
If I was going to go with someone who could actually do it right now, I'd go with Steve Rude.
Yeah.
No,
Steve Rude did
a full color Steve Rude would blow my mind. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But yeah, Jack Kirby, hands down, he was like, he's number one in my book. So.
All right, cool. No, that's yeah. Jack Kirby's incredible. Now, so let's say, Dave, you got the golden ticket, and they called you up to the big companies, right? And they said, Dave, pick any book, any character from any company, Marvel, DC, Image, doesn't matter. What book would you want to illustrate, or which book would you want to draw?
Fantastic Four.
Really? Okay, that's cool.
Fantastic Four. Some of Jack's best stuff was on Fantastic Four, and I am a huge Thing fan. I love Ben Grimm. Yeah. I love. I'll just be walking around going, "It's clobbering time." Fantastic Four, hands down, is my favorite. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, cool. Now, these last set of questions, they're comparatives. All right, so you'll see when I start asking you. I'll softball you at first, so I'll hit you up with this one: Captain America or Batman?
Oh, Captain America.
Okay, cool. Godzilla or Gamera?
One more time.
Godzilla or Gamera?
Oh, Zilla. Godzilla.
Okay. Fair enough. Will Eisner or Toth?
Oh my God. Well, I'm gonna have to go with Toth just because of all the cartoons, he's done.
Mm-hmm.
And if it was just head-to-head comics, I don't know, man. They're both so great.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'd have to go with Alex just because of those great cartoons that he designed. You know, all that.
Mm-hmm.
He just, yeah.
No, I got you.
Yep.
I got you. Trust me, it is. You know, trust me, I understand. Stan Lee or Jack Kirby?
Oh, Jack. Jack.
Yeah,
I mean,
we got a lot of that.
He couldn't, that Marvel wouldn't be around without Stan, but come on. Jack.
Got you.
He was a one-man show. He could do everything. So
no, he really could.
He didn't really need Stan like Stan needed Jack. You know what I mean?
No, yeah. I got you. Let's see. Lord of the Rings or Star Wars?
Lord of the Rings.
He was Star Wars until Peter Jackson.
Yeah.
Movies, and then
we're talking movies, right? Because the books,
yes.
I read Star Wars books, but
no, there's definitely
man. Yeah.
As much
as I hate to admit it, because when I saw Star Wars in '77, that thing just blew my. I was like, oh my! It was like,
yeah.
But it was when you put the whole 3 Lord of the Rings against the first 3 Star Wars, then you got to go, Lord of the Rings.
Right. No, I got you. Let's see.
And I look like Gandalf now, so.
Oh, yeah. we're all heading in that direction.
COVID beard.
Yep. Byrne or Perez?
Oh, John Byrne or George?
George Perez, yeah.
Yeah, John Byrne, just because I actually read his Fantastic Four run, and I've never seen George's Fantastic Four.
Gotcha.
And Byrne, I'm a big fan of John Byrne because again he writes and draws it, and that's badass. When a guy can do 2 things like that so well, Simonson, yeah. I've never really read any of George's. I'm sure he's written stuff, but not just drawn it, but I've never read it. I've not,
Yeah, his best stuff. You ever wanted to look into it? His best stuff was probably his Wonder Woman run.
That's what I've heard from a lot of people. Yeah.
His Wonder Woman run is incredible.
Pick up a collection of Wonder Woman. Yeah.
All right, we've done a few of these. So I'll ask you a couple more, and then we'll wrap this up. All right, let's see. Bernie Wrighton or Barry Windsor Smith?
Oh shoot, dude! Oh my god. Probably I'll go with Barry because I think I like his comics work better than. I mean, they're both masters, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll go with Barry.
Okay. Cool. Let's see. Well, this is the one I wanted to ask you. Okay, here we go. This is the one. Because this is right in your wheelhouse. Werewolf or vampire?
Oh, werewolf.
Okay.
Werewolf. And Wolfman, with Lon Chaney in particular, as Larry Talbot, because Larry was just he was just a sad case.
Right. All right.
Yeah, definitely Wolfman and not Dracula.
All right.
I mean, that's why I'm not generic like werewolf or vampire. It's Wolfman or Dracula.
Right.
As much as I love Bela, man, that when Larry starts turning, and the teeth never know. Oh man, that just or the one when he was with Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein, and he's sitting in that chair changing. Oh, that was one of the best, Yeah, Wolfman, definitely.
All right, cool. That's awesome. Well, Dave, we made it. You're a guy. There you go. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we made it somehow. We made it to the end. So Awesome.
I'm surprised because I didn't at the beginning. I wasn't sure I was going to find you.
Well, we made it, so that's all that matters. So I mean, like,
Awesome,
thank you
man.
so much. You know, thank you for coming on.
This is a blast. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you. I try
All
to
right,
keep
man.
them. I try to keep them light and airy. But hold on, one last thing. Please let everybody
Okay.
know again where they can find you, your work, your Kickstarter, and all that good stuff.
Okay, well, just go to Dave Garcia on Facebook. Dave Garcia Art, Shadow of the West. You might have a Shadow West one? No, I don't have a Shadow West one. But Dave Garcia Art and Pentacon Comics on Facebook.
All right, cool.
Yeah, so you can message us from there.
All right, cool. And guys, go check out his Kickstarter. Is currently running for Pentacon. You got 7 days left. I'm gonna get myself an issue. I'm gonna get one for my wife Daphne because I'm gonna get one and she's gonna steal mine. So that's how that's gonna work.
Yeah, that's how it works around here.
Exactly. So thank you so much. Hit like, hit subscribe, and like I said, check out Dave's work. Go check out my Indiegogo, and I'll be talking to you all soon. Have a good night, guys.
Thanks, JD.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Dave. Bye.